Okay, so in this module, I'm going to talk about the NSX H node configuration as well as the cluster configuration of the node. So I already have the one prepared node. So I'm going to prepare the second node as well as I'm going to configure the cluster of the H node here. Okay, so let's go here. So I already done that one part of the node. Okay, so I'm going to do that second node of the on the cluster. So if I go there, if you check that node one is already there, node is not available. Sometimes it takes time, sometimes it come up early. It's not ready, it still is going on. Okay, so if you go under the here, you will see that in the management tab here, you will see that node one is preparing, but still is you cannot make it, you cannot power on that because it's not in the process. So now it's successful. Now you can log into from the CLI and all. Now let's add second node here. What is the parameter of the node? We can select from here. So these are the node name which I can use that. Okay. So and these are the FQDN name of the node. And I'm not going to change anything. Just let it remain the medium size. If I'm going to select that small, it will uh, give you the some it will give the some feature limitation which I do not want to compromise with any feature. So better to select medium. I'm going to select the username password here. So password is this one, VMware. If I go there and copy paste it, it should work. I'm going to enable this SSH. Okay. I'm going to create the root username password. I'm not going to create any kind of audit username password. It's not mandatory. But if you're going to check that, if you see that root credential is mandatory, you can see the star as well as CLI credential is mandatory. If I click next here, it will ask you the which vCenter you want to select for this. As of now, I have only one vCenter. Maximum you can configure 16. I'm going to select only one particular vCenter where I want to deploy it, and I want to use management cluster from this vCenter to deploy it. I'm not going to select any resource pool and host. I'm going to select the database remote for this. I'm going to select next. Remote database is and our configuration, our management cluster database. Okay, so I'm going to select. This is done. I'm going to select the IP address, static IP address, and default gateway will be the 10. Okay, so going to paste it here, and if I go there and paste here, I'm going to change the latitude 10. Okay, I can copy this for remain, and I can keep here paste. If you want to select the management interface, as discussed earlier, there is two interface required for the edge. One is management, second is overlay, third is the VLAN for the external communication. So I'm going to select this domain name vclass.com.local. So this is our domain name for the resolution here. So this is it. I'm going to select next. It will ask you the VXLAN switch here. Uh, it will ask it with first I created that two network, one network, management network. Second is the overlay network I'm going to create. And third, I will create the external network here. So first network I'm going to create here the NVDS switch here. As we are not using DBS switch, so I'm going to use NVDS name, which I already created, same name. I'm going to select overlay. Overlay means VXLAN. I'm going to use that single NIC, which is default one. I'm going to assign the pool IP address. So, okay, I'm not going to assign any static IP address since I have already created the pool for the management. So pool, I'm going to select the interface. Interface will be the oval interface, this one. Okay. Then I'm not going to submit anything. I'm going to create another switch. I'm going to add another switch here. Switch name will be the uh, VLAN NVDS. So here is go. I can put it here. And transport zone will be the VLAN transport zone for the external communication. And I'm going to use uplink for the NIC here. And transport is zone is already selected. So here, okay. So this is the value transport zone I selected. Uplink I have already selected. I'm going to use the uplink for the port. I'm going to use this edge one, which is a physical interface going. This is the interface we are getting the physical interface physical environment connection here. If I let me show the again uh, physical connectivity of this NSX and so yeah. So this is the what I created here. One is management interface I selected. Second is overlay. Third I've created the VLAN. Okay, this is for the outside. So this is the wide area picture. This is the VLAN 100. I'm going to connect with the external network here with the VLAN NVDS, and this is the transport NVDS for the compute node and the edge cluster communication, and the VLAN 10 is the management interface management communication. If suppose VH want to sync with the NSX manager and vCenter, it should go via this management interface. So there overall should be the tree interface minimum. If you want to configure more, you can configure it for the active standby kind of scenario. But as of now, this is the POC lab, so I couldn't configuring only one interface. So yeah, so I've created two devices here. So if I go and select that, it's stuck somewhere. Yeah. So if you'll see that it takes few minutes to initialize and come up. So this is going to take few minutes. So I will pause the video. This is look here. If you'll see in the VMware cluster, management cluster, you will see that NSX H is pushed from the NSX-T manager and it's in initialization mode. If you see that CPU utilization 0, memory is 0 and all. Once everything is done, it should look like this one. These are the values. Okay. So I'm going to pause this video for a while until this come up. Then after that, I'm going to configure the cluster. So, okay, so NSX H almost is about to deploy. It took more than 10 minutes. So waiting for the success here. So if I see the status of that, taking time because memory utilization is more than 75%. So that's a region it's taking a lot of time here. You will see that NSX H1, it is fine. That's why it took less time. Okay, 6% memory utilized. And if you see that it took almost 5.62. So let's wait for a few more minutes, a few more seconds. So now it's slowly is decreasing. Before it was 75%. Now it's showing 65%, 69. So now it's slowly going down, and meanwhile it will become success. So it's almost is ready, but yeah, got assigned IP address and all. Yeah, so now it's success here. Okay, so it still is showing down. Let's wait for the status to up here. It should be up, it should not be down. Yep, so now status is up. Okay, so both the status are up. Everything is controller activity, controller connection, V1 connection, and terminal status. Everything is fine. Okay, as expected that. Now, if you'll see that overall picture of this, these are the few services which are running. These are the interfaces which are up. These are the VXLAN interface. As I already discussed that FP ETH0 will be always overlay network. Then uplink will be your physical network. Then normal Ethernet will be your management interface. Okay, so minimum should be 3 interface to make it up. Okay, so yeah, this is it. And next task will be the configuring the edge cluster here. Okay, I have already 2 cluster. You can deploy uh, max 10 per cluster. You can have maximum 10 edge node. Okay, just keep in mind, per node we can have only 10 cluster. 10 per cluster we can deploy only 10 edge node here. Okay, so I'll have 2. We can start that. There is no such a limitation. Unlike the other product, you need to have only 3. You need to have minimum 4. No, this is not like that. Whatever you have, you can bundle that. There is no such a limitation. So the cluster here. So what is the name of the cluster? I can get it from here. So done. And this is default. I'm going to select it. I'm not going to touch it. Okay. This is the high availability profile. It means I'm going to configure the cluster. And this is the member public cloud or node or edge node. I have only edge node. So I have 2 available nodes. So I can move to the selected one from available and add it. It's a pretty much simple, just that straightforward. You can add it and you can see the cluster here. Okay, this is done. So your node configuration and cluster configuration both are done, and we can verify from the CLI also. If you want, we can access edge one. Okay, and these are the few commands which you can use to verify that. Okay, so if we go there, get, I will say cluster get controller status, or get controller only. So you can see that we have already neighborship or connectivity from the vManager here. 41 IP is vManager IP. Port is the 1235 is using. What is the TCP or UDP they are using? Let me check that. So probably this is the TCP port, okay, which is using that between them. So this is the normal route. If we can check that, so not so. Get logical switch. How many logical switch we have deployed here? Should 3. Okay, so as of now, is nothing is coming because we have not deployed any logical switch as of now. So once we will configure it, configuration is done. We can probably check that. Okay, so now our task is to configure the gateway. Configure the tier 1 gateway. Tier 1 gateway is for the east-west routing. Okay, VM to VM communication. If you want to establish, in that case, you need to configure the tier 1 gateway. Tier 1 gateway is just a logical router. There is no such a VM, or there is no such a kind of host present to deploy it. It's just a logical configuration VM. So we can go under the networking tab. We can tier 1 router. Tier 1 router, we can see that we will configure the tier 1 router and associate all the networks or all the switches segment into that. Okay, I'm going to create only one router here. Okay, then, and I'm not going to select anything, going to select advertisement. I can do that, or it's optional. Okay, so if you want to do it now, you can do that. If you want to select later, you can also do that. There is an option. So make sure, and this all static route should be enabled. It means a connected route should be advertised on the service port. So these are the two tasks which is important to configure it. Okay. So no, I do not want to change anything configuration. Okay, so I'm going to, if we check that link for the uh, segmentation is 0. And if you want to associate that link, you can associate it. Okay, so how to do that? Segment. If you remember this topology here, and this is topology which I am trying to establish the connectivity. Okay, this is IP address already configured while configuring the segmentation. And now I've created the T1 router. Okay, this is a T1 router. And now I'm going to associate these port groups or segmentation into this router so they can ping each other from this L3 router for the east-west routing, VM to VM connectivity. Okay, so I'm going to do that, edit. I'm going to associate connecting from the T1 router, save it, close editing. And then for the app, S2 for the DB, save, close it. Okay, so now we'll go for the web T1 router and we'll save it. We'll save it here and close it. And if we'll try to do that testing here, so it should be ping your 172.16.1.1 should ping from 30 and 20. So let's try to verify that. So we'll go under the vSphere and open that two VMs. I will not going to test all the VMs. So if you go for the web testing here, web should ping from DB and app, right? So if we'll try to ping that 10 dot is self IP address. So I'm going to change the gate IP address 20.11. Okay, it should ping. So app IP address now is reachable through the T1 gateway. If we'll try to ping that DB database IP address 30.1, 30.11, it should ping. Okay, so 11 is referring for the VM IP address. Okay, EM is referring for the these IP addresses. One is the gateway IP address. Okay, gateway is the router IP address, interface IP address. Okay, so if we'll try to ping that 30.11, it should ping 30.11. If we'll try to check that, now it's reachable. Okay, so pretty much good. Verification is done now for this task. So let's do for the other one. Okay, so this is the verification is done. Now we'll go for that. Task 3 is also done. Connectivity is done. And if we'll check that verification part, verification is done for the east-west routing. Okay, so app to DB or DB to app web is able to ping. Pretty much fine as expected. Now we'll go for the T0 configuration, tier 0 configuration gateway. So if this is the requirement when you want to ping from the your outside network. Okay, suppose if I'll try to ping from this desktop here, sorry, not from this. If you try to ping from this desktop, if config p config. So 172.10 dot is IP address, right? If I try to ping that ping 172.20 dot 10.11, it is not pinging right from outside. Outside network is it is not reachable. So in order to get the reachability from the router, we have to establish that connectivity from the outside. Okay, so everything is fine. So logical connectivity like should be like this. If I check that, let me give you that high level overview of that. Okay, so this is the overview. Okay, so T0 will connect to the T1 router. So this is the SR DR. So SR is the one who is responsible for the outside connectivity, and DR is the one who is for the inter interconnectivity. Okay, so SR will be present in the edge cluster. So and the DR will be present in the uh, each compute and edge cluster, and the T T1, T0 will have the one SR, one DR, and T1 even have only DR. Sometimes if required, we can go with the SR. But by default, T0 will have the SR configuration. SR router is a logical router which has responsibility to communicate with the outside network. Okay, so from T0 to outside, there is two protocols supported, BGP and static route. So we will run the BGP, and the T and how the T0 and T1 connectivity happen. So this is the mutual connectivity. By default, this is the IP address, the PIPA IP address, which use for the interconnectivity. Okay, there is no such a static or dynamic routing protocol which run between the T0 and T1. Okay. So yeah, this is the logical connectivity. This is how they communicate. And if we'll give the wide picture of that, so this is the flow. If external router or PC want to communicate with this VM, web VM, right? So what is the flow external to the T0 router will come traffic will come through the BGP. Then T0 will send to the DR router, T0 DR router. It will intersync, and it will again go for the DR for the T1 on the edge cluster itself. So three hop traffic will run inside the edge only. Then from here, bridging will come in the picture. Then from bridging, it will find the right compute cluster node here. This is the compute cluster node, and it will go to the here. It will come here, and this T1 of the local compute cluster, it will send your traffic to the web here. So this is the flow of the traffic here. Okay. Decapsulation will be here, happen here one time, and it will happen here one time. Okay. And this is the packet format. If you want to know that, this is the between the same type address. It means we do not have any external connectivity of the address. And the encapsulation protocol will be uh, Geneve. Geneve is the encapsulation protocol, unlike the VXLAN used for the NSX with the port number UDP 646, so 4789. Here we have UDP 6089 for the traffic communication, L3 communication. Okay, and this is the if you have the different L3 out device between that. Here is the concept where you will use that. This is the traffic format of that. Okay, so let's just start the configuration here. If I go here, so we'll check the first prerequisite. What is the prerequisite of that? If I go here, okay, so first we will create that uplink segment here inside the segment. Then we create the L2 tier 0, and then we'll create the tier, we'll establish the tier 0, tier 1 connectivity. We'll test the end-to-end connectivity. Okay. So first thing is we will create the uplink, these two uplink 1, uplink 2 for the tier 0 router. Okay. So this is the name of the uplink which I'm going to create, which will be the using for the VLAN, because VLAN is the one who is going to establish communication from the outside VLAN transport node, not the VXLAN. So if we'll go here, add it here, if we add here, I'm going to select the VLAN transport node here, okay? And I'm not going to select anything. VLAN will be the 0 here, okay? Because I'm not tagging any VLAN here as of now. And I can type here 0 VLAN or add it here, add item, and save it. Okay. Similarly for the T0 uplink 2, we have two uplink. No. So I'm going to use here transport zone VLAN. VLAN will be the 0, which I can add here. Submit. I don't want to change anything. Okay. So this is pretty much done. Now we will create the tier 0 router here. Again, HM mode will be the active in the sense. So active in the sense here, we have here two edge node here, edge cluster here. Okay, two edge cluster. Active means per device will have the one SR, one tier 0 router, and it will have the two link here. One is for the uplink for the one link, one edge device, other edge device will have another uplink for the backup. Okay, so this is the tier 0 router name here. VRF we'll talk about later. VRF, what is the VRF light here? Active mode, I'm not going to select active standby. Okay, by default is active. Let it keep that. And gateway, we'll set the cluster. So I'm going to select cluster. It means on the in the cluster we have two edge node. Per edge node, one T0 router will be deployed. Okay, I'm not going to do anything. And if I go here, if I'll go select here, save, where it will ask, we want to configure anything? Yes. Here I will say yes. And here we will change some modification. We'll add a sub interface route here. Okay. We'll redistribute it. So this is the redistribution name. So I will click in the redistribute here. Set here. Status should be checked. So name is this one. IP is, I'm going to allow everything here. Static route even I'm going to allow. Sorry, not here. Static route. Okay, if I go there, it should be static connected interface segment. It means both the router will have the interconnectivity. So we are not going to select any DNS and IPsec and the load balancer thing. Okay, we'll talk about later. Okay, add it. Okay, now we'll select the interface here. So we'll select the two interface. One is for the uplink 1, one is for the uplink 2 neighbor here. Okay, so we'll apply that and save it here. We select the interface here. We'll set that interface. I will select that connected interface will be the uplink 0, uplink 1. which I created that segment. Sorry, this will be your edge one, pointing towards the edge one. Okay, so this should be the fine. Yep. An IP address I can give this one of the local interface. So add it here. So yeah, so pretty much fine. Okay, we'll add a uplink 2i as well. Uplink 2 here. I'm going to select the name here. So here is the name. Here is the mask or IP address of the interface. So add it here. We'll select uplink 2 here. We'll select the H node 2. Okay, so pretty much okay. Save and close it now. And we'll go for the now BGP configuration. Okay. Okay, so I have only two interfaces. If you can see that here for edge one interface. So local AS I'm going to set for the 100. Okay, and going to set neighbor is this one, and AS will be the 200 for the neighbor. So I'm going to set the neighbor here. Set the neighbor. I think so I'm going to select that too, and allow. I'm going to select route filter for the IPv4. I'm not going to specify anything, but allow IPv4. Apply that. Save. Okay, so AS should be 200 here. EBGP connection, we are forming that from neighbor to tier 0, tier 1 router. And similarly, I'm going to select the so I'm going to select this one 200 allow. For IBGP, do not need to select allow list here, allow in, which is different use case, but I'm just checking that configuration. This should be success here. Yeah, now which is fine. If it is not getting success, then you need to check that all the parameters again. And now this is fine. I'm going to save it. The configuration do not need to change anything. Inter AS, it means we have created two SR devices in one SR on the H1, second SR in the H2. Between the SR, there will be the IBGP configuration by default, okay, which is mutual. You do not need to check anything on that. You can pretty much configure that all the route maps and all, but I'm not going to touch anything. We'll check that later. Close it. If you'll see that we do not have any tier 1 router connectivity here, right? So what I can do here, so our goal is to establish this connectivity. This one, right? Between here to here, we have to specify, we have to, under the T1, we have to call the T0 router. So if we'll go here T1, if we'll see here, link to T0 is not connected. If I go here, edit, and call it here, 20, now. Okay, perfect. So that's pretty much fine. Okay. Now everything is ready. Now what we can do, we can start the testing here. This is also fine. Okay, we have done that. Now we can test end to end. It means from the laptop or from the desktop, we can ping outside. Okay, this is the router, and what was the connectivity? If you can remember that, this is the connectivity. Okay, this is so my student PC is here. Okay, sitting here, and we will try to ping from PC to these VMs. Okay, it should ping. So it means 192 subnet will 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 be reachable from this one through tier 0, tier 1 router. Between the tier 0 and the outside, we are running the BGP connectivity AS100, AS200. Okay, so let's do the testing here first. Okay, so it's from the student PC, I can ping 1, 2, 3. So if I try to ping that, previously I tried that, it was not working, right? If this was the IP address, it was not working. It should work now. Oh, so 16 dot, sorry, I'm sorry. Now it should ping, right? So I have connectivity from outside. It means any user can communicate from the app, DB, and web. It means we have independent connectivity, any to any connectivity. We do not have any control over. It means this IP cannot ping, this IP should ping. I do not have any control, any route control, or any firewall in between that. We will do in the next task, firewall connectivity and all. So third thing, lab 9, I'm going to do that VRF flight configuration. So VRF flight configuration will be like this. Okay, so within the T0 gateway, I'm going to create the sub interfaces, which will contain that VLAN 10 or VLAN 20 from one side, VLAN 30, VLAN 41 side information. Okay, this is the VRF flight configuration. It has separate use cases. I'm not discussing here use cases. I'm just showing that lab practice here. Okay, so preparation will be like this. Create the uplink trunk for the segment with the VLAN 10, 20, 30, 40. Deploy the VRF configuration in the tier 0. Then associate the tier 0 VRF configuration. Then connect the segment with the tier 1 router and attach the VM in the segment from each other and ping in, review the routing table and verify the connectivity. Okay, so these are the some tasks, 8 steps which we need to do that. Okay, first thing we will create the segment here with the uplink name 1 and 2. Okay, and this will be the any outside communication will be always will be in the VLAN transport node. Okay, so if you'll see that uplink 1 has 2 link here. So let me clarify that this will be the uplink 0. Okay, it means one router will have two uplink, one uplink trunk 1, uplink trunk 2. It means one IP will be this one and second IP will be this one on the interface uplink 2. Similarly here, this IP address and this IP address. Okay, cross connection. So I'm going to do here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to do segmentation, segment, add here. I'm going to add here. And I'm going to select the transport zone tenant here. I'm not going to add any subnet and all. I'm just going to select the VLAN 10 and 20. Okay. So access VLAN will be 10 colon 20 and add it here. Okay. So I will save this configuration. No. Similarly, I will add one more link that will be the link to and same will be the transport node, this one VLAN, and here I'm going to add which VLAN. Here will be the 3040. Okay, trunk 2, at 30 and 40. I'm going to save this. No. So this is done. Application uplink configuration is done. Now we are going to create the VRF here on the tier 0 configuration. Okay, we will get the two VRF. We have red and VRF blue. Okay, and we'll go under the tier 0 gateway. We'll add here VRF light here. This is supported only 3.0 NSX-T version. And here I will attach with that gateway 0. And we'll see that we are not getting any information to modify here. Okay, if we'll go there, we do not have anything. And after save, we have to say yes. Then it will prompt the interface and all the configuration. Okay, save this. We will say yes. Now we can configure the interface, BGP, and all configuration, right? So let's go for the interface configuration first. As per our sequence, we can start with anything, it's not required. This should be like this, okay? So we will configure the add interface now, okay? So this is the interface where I'm going to add two interface. One is for the VLAN 10 and one is for the VLAN 20. And then IP address will be this one. Okay. So here I will collect uplink 1. Okay, so node will be under, I do not have here. I just select 1. Okay. Enter the VLAN 10. Access VLAN should be 10. And save it. Perfect. If I say refresh, it should come here as a success. Okay. Now we'll go for the VLAN uplink 2 configuration, and if you check that, uplink 1 is done. Okay. Uplink 1 is done. Sorry. Uplink 1 is done for VLAN 10. Now we'll configure the uplink 20. Sorry, trunk here for the VLAN 20. Okay. So now we'll add here. We'll add here blue, red 2. If I say copy paste here, it should work. Now IP address will be this one. Add it. I'm going to select here trunk 2. Okay, I'm going to select now S2 and VLAN should be 20. 30, sorry, I'm sorry, 30. Yep, it should be 30 because this has 10, trunk 2 has only 2 VLAN, 30 and 40. Trunk 1 has 2 VLAN, okay, 10, 20. So I'm going to select that here, VLAN 30, okay, perfect. So save this configuration. We will see here, it is okay now, okay. Now we'll modify some BGP configuration here. Add neighbor here. Neighbor will be your next hop of VRF light. If I show here, everything is gray out. Gray out means you cannot change anything. I'm going to directly set the neighbor. Neighbor IP is this one. And AS will be probably 10. And route filter, I'm going to add here just source will be 10. Allow here. Then it's similar for the 30. Similar for 30 here. AS will be here, if I'm not wrong, 10 again. 10. And dot, remove this. 30.2 is local. Allow this. That's it. So these two neighbors have added here under the red VRF. Okay, so what next here we need to do? We need to do some redistribution here. Redistribution of the connected route here from tier 1, tier 0 both. So this, let's minimize this and select the route distribution and add route distribution. Name is this one. And I'm going to select the static route as well as the, I'm not going to select the static route because we do not have a static route. Add, submit, save. So I'm going to just submit this now because I'm done with it. I'm going to create another VRF blue. Close editing. Okay, now add blue VRF here. Red is done. This one. I'm going to select the cluster. We do not have any option. Just save this. Yes. Going to select interface here. 30 and 40. Sorry, 20 and 40. I'm going to add the interface. Uplink 1, uplink 2. Uplink 1. For the IP address. Add it. Now I'm going to select H1. And we'll add here VLAN 20. Right. VLAN 20. Perfect. I'm going to save this. Now we'll add another interface. It should be in a slice, should be the fine. Okay, I'm going to add another trunk interface, which will contain VLAN 40. And the IP address, let's copy from here. I'm going to use this subnet. I'm going to use trunk 2 and edge will be 2. VLAN will be 40. Perfect, fine. Okay, so let's wait. Now is success up and up. Let's go for BGP now. Some BGP configuration, we need to do that. And let's set the neighbor here. So neighbor will be this one, 20 and 40.1. AS will be 20. So AS will be 20. Filter I can add here, IPv4. Source will be 20.2. Allow, we can do that. It's not a problem. Okay, so initialize should be fine. It should be success, yeah. So now we'll go for the another interface, neighbor, 40.1. AS again is 20. So we have total 2 AS, 10 and 20. Add, apply, we'll select that 40. We can enable it if you want. It's not pretty much. Okay. It's pretty much expected. Down and up pretty much expected now. Now it's successful both. This neighbor if we'll go should become active standby. No. Let's check that. And disable this, not required. Okay, it's fine. We'll check that later. Redistribution, if we'll check that. Okay, distribution is not coming. We need to add a redistribution here. Okay, someone took that. Okay, so let's do the redistribution here, and redistribution name will be this name. Something wrong with my RDP PC here. Getting stuck again and again. Okay, so just paste this configuration, or it won't be able to paste. Just give me a second, guys. So we'll configure the VRF. Blue. So this will be the VRF. This is a capital small problem I have here. Blue route re again. Redistribution. Okay, I'm going to select this. These are the some values for the blue router. Add, apply, and pretty much done, I think. Selected the neighbor and selected to interface. Yeah, pretty much done. I'm with it. Yeah. So let's close this. Okay, so if I go and next step will be to add this routes, this sub interface VRF lights into the tier 1 gateway, because we'll see that without the tier 1 gateway, how the traffic will go out, right? So here I'm going to associate on the tier 1 gateway router to use VRF blue and VRF right. Two tier 1 gateway I'm going to create here, okay? So first will be the T1. And this will be the T1. Sorry, stuck seems. Just give me a second, guys. Something is wrong with the VM machine. Okay, so here I'm going to configure it T0, T1 gateway. Sorry, one gateway VRF rate. Then I'm going to link with the red one, right? Should be small red. Then pretty much save this. Once it will save, we have to modify, say yes, we want to modify it. Not sure why, but it is reconnecting again and again. Yep. So we'll say yes here, and then we'll do that route advertisement policy here. Okay. Not sure, but intent is fluctuating, I think. Yep. That is the region, if I'm not wrong. Yep. Let me fix my internet first. Okay. Just give me. So yeah, it should be fine now. So, okay. So I'm going to change the advertisement route here. So here inside this, I'm going to select that advertise all and all connected route. I'm going to disable this IPsec tunnel, or I can keep it default, but doesn't make sense to me. Okay, so then pretty much close this. Then we'll do that. We are a red here, blue T1, T1 gateway VRF blue. I think blue I did that, not sure. Yeah, I've done the red one. So let's select the red, blue. So I'm going not selecting anything here. I'm just going to change the save here. Then change the yes. Then we'll change the static route to yes. Disable this. Close this editing. So yeah, now I'm done with it. Let me change few thing here. I enabled that few thing here. So let me disconnect that as well. Under the route distribution, I selected few things here. Edit. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, that's fine. So just cross verifying that if everything is fine. Not BGP neighborship should be also healthy. It's down, down again. Okay. VRF rate. What is the status of the BGP here? Down, down. Okay, that's fine. So let's first establish the connectivity here. I will create the segment here first to establish the connectivity. VRF read segment. Sorry. VRF read segment. And I'm going to connect this to, it's pretty much nasty. So T1, T1 gateway VRF read. So transport zone will be pro tenant overlay. Overlay just because we are going to deploy these port groups in the VMs 40.1 slash 24. If everything is fine, then we can select yes and no. Then I can give that prod, sorry, VRF blue segment T1 gateway VRF blue. Transport zone will be the overlay. IP address will be 172.16.40.1 slash 24. Pretty much same. and just save this configuration. Say no. So if you'll see there, if we have created here VRF red, VRF blue, we do not have any ports, right? Port is not associated. So we need to associate the port also, but before that, and we have to go here, 1, 2, select the edit. We have to select that port group. What was name of the red VRF, right? So red VRF, and this will be the blue VRF. Blue VRF, right? I'm going to select this. Fine. Perfect. Now I'm going to test the connectivity. And before, okay, so I'm going to test the connectivity first. Going to open 1 to 1. So it's already opened. So we'll type here ping counters 3 10.0.10.11. Destination is not reachable. Okay. Then trace route minus n 10.0.10.11. Okay, this destination is going till the router T0 router. Okay, perfect. And similarly, we can try for the T1 router. Okay, so this is the fine. This is what it shows. Let's check that VRF here. Okay, what the status of that. So we'll log in into the NSX H1. Get logical router. Okay, so I have many router here. So we'll go and check that we have two SR, blue and red, and two DR router. And T1 even one blue red T1 router I have here. Okay. So we'll check on the SR router. So how to access this? VRF6. VRF6. If we'll check that, get route. So look here. So this route is fine directly connected. T1 route means this route is connected to T1 router. T0 is this one, and T0 is this one. T0 is this one. Okay. This route is connected to T1. This route is connected to T0. 1. This route is contained 20. Okay, seems okay. We will check that get BGP neighbor summary. Okay, seems is unestablished. Let's log into AS10 now. VRF5 get route. This is also routing is fine. We will check that get BGP summary. So neighbor summary. So this is also in idle state. It means reachability is not there. Something is wrong with it. It means BGP is not up, means we need to troubleshoot here. Why BGP is not coming up in the T1 route, T0 router? Something is wrong. Let me guide troubleshoot it. Even uplink is fine. I think let me cross verify. First step, creating the uplink. Okay, if I go there, uh, just cross check and we'll let you know that where is the problem. We'll check the one by one step what I have done it. So okay, so this is issue got fixed. Uh, I saw that where is the problem? Where was the problem? Why is got stuck? Okay, now it's fine. Cool. So get logical router. So if I say that VRF, if I check for the blue one is 6, right? VRF. So get route. If I say that we don't have BGP route, right? We will try to check that. So IP, so get BGP neighbor summary. Sorry, get BGP neighbor summary. It show that idle state, right? If we'll check for the red, I fixed that red one. So get logical router. We will check that red one, right? 11 one. So let's do that VRF 11 get route. Now it's propagating BGP route, right? BGP route. 10.10.1 is our 112 route, right? So if we'll check that, sorry, get BGP neighbor summary. Sorry, summary. You will see that established, right? The because I found that I was missing one step here, which was I'm sorry. So let me go to the here. I will check that one router. So if I check that edit BGP setting, because BGP was not coming up, so I need to have troubleshoot the BGP, right? So BGP was off. So I missed that part, unfortunately. That's why it was not coming up. The moment you enable the BGP here, it should show BGP, okay? So if you'll go here, oh, okay. So now if you'll go here and check the BGP status, it should find for the VRF 6, right? And this is, I'm in the VRF 11. So if we'll, this is the for blue one, red one, right? If I check for the blue one, get logical router VRF. If I go for the 6 blue one, right? This blue one, sorry, 6. If I go to get route, it should come BGP route, right? First of all, okay. So now is BGP route is popping up, right? This is the next hop of the uh, tier 1 router, tier 0 router, right? This is the subnet which is coming of the one. These are the Ubuntu video subnets, and these are the our actual subnet which we are advertising, right? If we'll check that, get BGP neighbor summary, it should come established, right? This is the verification which is pretty much done. Now I will try to ping from VM, which I was not able to ping that from 121. 121, if I ping that, so let me ping minus C 3 10.0.10.11. Working is fine. It means everything is fine. If I trace route this, trace route minus N 10.0.11.11. Now, the previously trace route was perfect, but ping was dropping, right? Now this time is both are perfect. So this is the done, okay? So I'm done with this part. We have a flight thing here. Now we'll review routing table is also fine. We have done it, okay? So this is also part done. Summary must be the one neighbors, right? So verify the isolation route between the VRF, right? What we can do from Ubuntu to ping Ubuntu to from the VM Ubuntu to this IP address. So this is the IP address of the Ubuntu, right? Ubuntu one, if I'm not wrong. If I try to do that similar thing, but I'm sure that is fine, okay? Because we have the reachability. So this is fine, which I have done it, and this is something which we can test it, okay? 40.1 is going out or not. So from Ubuntu 1, we can ping the Ubuntu 2 IP address. This is the IP address of Ubuntu 2. Okay. And so this is the red VRF and the blue VRF concept. We are bringing the cross connection. This is fine. I think this will work here. If you want to check that, I can do that. Okay. This is fine. This is also working fine. I can ping this one, right? Uh, okay. This is totally fine. So now the next step will be the VRF distributed firewall configuration. Okay. This is a task, prepare the lab, testing the IP connectivity, create the security group, create the distributed router group, test the IP connectivity after firewall rule creation. So what I'm going to do that, I'm going to place the one individual policy firewall, logical firewall for the all the VMs. Okay. So it means I will create the one of policy firewall security group and apply to these VMs or these security groups. Or you can say these segments. Okay. So first thing, what I'm going to do, ICMP is fine. Okay. We are fine totally. Everything is reachable. All ping is successful. This is what I have done it. So test the HTTPS access from. Oh, I'm sorry. Check the HTTPS access from this web. Okay. So verify the respond. Learn. It should learn the app one, right? And similarly, vice versa, we can do that. So I will test that from the web VM console, and let's do that. If I have here console, I think I should have, but not sure. Web one, right? So okay, let's leave it. So I'm going to access from the here directly, so I can disconnect this. Web one console. Okay. So what I can do that I can type the command I curl https curl http colon colon 172.16.20.20 dot is the app IP address 20.11 11 response should be fine, right? It it's showing that, sorry, it's showing that application is your tested, right? These are the thing which I have got that. So that application name is app.core.local, right? So it means it resolving the properly here. I test the MySQL. Okay, so session the tab one and try that MySQL for the DB. This is the DB IP. If I'm not wrong, let me cross verify that. So yeah, this is the DB IP. So here to here verification is done. Now here to here I will take the MySQL. Okay. So what I can do that I can access the app one and close this. I will try to access app one. If I try that, so I will try the MySQL same command. Okay, vice versa. I will do that. Okay. So my SQL minus U root. I will try to access the database of the from DB 172.16.30.11 minus P. Password is going to be VM where one exclamation. What is showing that? Error access denied using password. Yes. Using okay, so I entered wrong password if I'm remember correctly. Okay, this is my SQL database, right? It means everything is fine as expected, everything is allowed. Now I have to place the security group. So now what I'm going to do that, create the security group, okay, and add from in the this port group, right, which I have created. So first thing is create a security group. So I'm going to do that same. So here I will go into the inventory and group and add the group. I will name as a web server. Servers, sorry. I will add into say web server and we'll select the member. Who is the member? I have to add the criteria of that. So let me add virtual machine. I'm going to add it. Okay. First entry will be virtual. Then will be the name. So I will be contain. So then I will select the web. Okay. I will say apply. Okay. I can click the view the member here. It's fine. Okay, just give a second. So I'm going to save this. Okay. We'll click on view the member. It should be success first. Okay. Then I will click on the view the member. So we'll see that two web VMs are here. Okay. So what I put it there, the criteria machine, virtual machine based on name, pick those machines. Okay. From the group. So yeah, so this is the criteria I created. Now we'll add one more group, okay, for the application server. So I will type here app, sorry, app. Sometime it get missed server, okay, servers. Then set the member. Similarly, I will add the criteria virtual machine based on name and contain the name of app. Okay, then apply. Okay, and I can check that view. The member should be one app. Yep, it's tier one coming here. Okay. So now third group I'm going to create here. Three tier. Three tier. Set the member. and find the member app dv app, sorry, virtual machine, should be virtual machine. Yeah, because I've selected based on virtual machine. So the thing is, this is something is, this is something very hard to do that. Set. How to do that now? It's very hard here. So what I can do here, probably cancel this and let me try with the RDP first, guys. So I'm going to log in this PC actually. Uh, okay, perfect. So now it should be fine. So I will save here at theta. It means I will call this three application, whatever I created, app and web, into this group. So I will go into the member criteria. I'm going to select the virtual machine. If I select the virtual machine, I will get tier 1 web. I'm not DB I have here. So one thing I forgot that here, I need to add the DB as well, right? So let me cancel this theta group. So we'll add the DB server as well, okay? As we have added DB server, set the member. Criteria will be the same. Virtual machine based on name, contain DB. Okay, apply that. Save that. This is just a basic thing which I'm doing that. You can do more advanced thing here. So this is fine now. What we can do, add group now. And now I have to club this 3-tier application. Okay, 3-tier. Set the member. In that member, I need to specify the virtual machine. Okay, so app db web2 and web1, right? Web3 I cannot select because I have not installed that. I did not integrated that KVM's host, right? If I do that right now, it should come here, but leave it. Okay, total overall 4 application I have here. I'm going to apply that, okay? Save that. If I check the member, it should be the 4, app, DB, web1, web2, okay? Now we'll create the distributed rule here, okay? We'll go under the security and we'll click in distributed firewall, okay? We'll categorize the specific rule. I will add the policy. Which one? Okay, so I will add this policy. So let me delete one of them. I created twice, I think, which is not good. Expand this policy. Okay, so what I need to do, I need to group. In that group, I need to do this. Okay, perfect. Now what I can do here, perfect. Then what I can add the rule, right? Add rules. So what rule I need to add here? Enter the name. Name will be the allow web traffic. Okay. I will source them. What I can source? App server. Okay. Then I will select the service. Sorry, source. I'm going to give the web server, right? So let me modify this web server. So from web to app, I am so web and destination will be app. Web to app, I'm going to block services. Okay. And service will be the HTTPS, which I tested that. HTTP. HTTP should not happen. Oh, sorry, allow should happen. And then I'm going to select HTTP port 80. Okay, perfect. I like that. Perfect. Then I'm not going to profile it anything. Then apply, I need to apply on the group here, theta group. All right. Then I'm going to leave this as allowed, enable rule or disable rule. I can do that. Then I'm going to add new rule here. that rule name will be the for MySQL. Okay, that allow MySQL traffic. So traffic is by default is allowing that between the server app and DB. Okay, so now we want to block it. Okay, so we'll select the app service as a source, and destination will be here, will be our, should be DB, right? If I want to deny between anything, then service will be MySQL. I can search that. MySQL MySQL. Okay, it's very good filter here. Fine, and then I'm going to profile nothing. I'm going to apply in the three-tier group. Okay. Perfect. So these are the two traffic which I'm allowing that. So apart from these two traffic, if any traffic will come, whether it's any traffic, I mean, should be denied. Drop all other traffic. Okay. Then source will be three-tier to three-tier. Okay. Source will be three-tier. Or address base, even you can do that. Type that CIDR value. This to this should not be allowed. This to this should be allowed. And destination will be even the three-tier. Any to any service between these two. Should be service will be any. Okay. Service will be any. Where is any now? Should be any. So what happened now? Sorry, again, I have fluctuation in the network. So that is the reason facing this problem. So let me fix this. Okay, so what I have to do this, I need to service should be any, okay, and profile will be none. Applied will be on the group three-tier. We'll drop this all the packet, okay. Then, so created this true rule. Then I will have to submit, publish it, okay. Publish it. Perfect. So then extra group which is there, I can delete this permit in a progress. Okay, so deleting is in progress. We can refresh it. Okay, so this is the sequence one, which is going to do that drop apart from these two traffic. Okay, so now it's time to verify that. Okay, so these are the test ping which I need to perform that. Okay, ICMP, test ICMP reachability. Okay, so and like that all ping should be failed, because apart from ISQL and HTTPS, everything is dropping. Okay, wave one to these services should be unreachable. So what we can do that and open this web app here, launch this. Let's see this policy working fine. Ping minus C count just 2 packet 172.16 dot, I'm sorry, 172.16 dot. If I ping 20.11, it should not ping, right? Perfect. So app is not reachable. If you can see that everything is blocking here, right? And similarly, if I ping 30.11, 30.11, it should not work. Yes. Now, if you try to do that uh, HTTP from web to app, it should work, right? Previously, only because that particular traffic I have allowed that from there. HTTP 172.16.20.11. Should work fine. Requesting HTTPS page from here, but seems something is wrong. It should work fine. If I open app, right? From app, MySQL should be work, right? Similarly, I can same command I can launch here. It is working, right? If I type here VM where one exclamation, should work. If I go here, what if I change the right? Now look here. So that was sequence problem. Okay. So the moment I change the sequence, everything is working fine. Okay. VM where, so make sure deny should be the last. If I again do that, deny up, it should stop the packet, right? Perfect. So let me try again just to cross verify that. And VM where, similarly, let's do that here. Look here, so everything is blocking, right? So if I go and change the sequence number, immediately it allowed the traffic. Drag and drop, published. If I check that, look here. The moment I change, everything is allowing, right? Similarly here, if I do that again, VMware, so that is the wrong password actually. I have keyboard problem here. Okay, so VMware, yep. So now it's fine, right? So as expected, if I try to ping from here, ping -C2 packet 172.16.10.11. Let's ping that. It should not work, right? Apart from one service, everything is denied on that. So let me go through first what I have done here. So section 11, 10, lab 10 is done. Policy configuration, we can do more, we can play with the more policies, creating few extra ICMP policy, creating few this and that. We can do that, but for now we are doing that just this, okay? This much is done. Now we prepare for the next lab, okay? Disable all created users, distributed firewall rule. I'm going to disable it, and we'll do that next lab, okay? Firewall configuration gateway. Okay, so this is done, which I have done it a rule. I'm going to disable the rule. Those were for the testing purpose only. If I don't disable other tasks, I cannot perform that. Okay, so we'll go under the security, east west. Okay, sorry, not east west. What I can do here, select, and I can disable this policy, right? Publish that, right? If I go there and ping there, it should work fine now. Look here, right? If I ping app, right, perfect. So this is what is been done so far. So we'll do that, sorry, next part in section 11, okay, creating the gateway firewall. It means between the T0, T1, I can create the specific firewall, deploy the specific firewall, and allow specific traffic. Okay, so we'll do that. We'll test the SSH from outside. Okay, blocking the external SSH request and test the configuration on the firewall route. So what we can do, and as of now, this is the test terminal. We can do that from web to app. I can test it, whether it's working or not. So let me try that. And if I open web, if I try that SSH 172.116.20.11, it should work, right? Yep. Sorry. VMware @ Okay, so IP address is something is sorry, password is something is wrong. Okay, but it still it's working, right? It's hitting the traffic. So now the task is to deny the SSH. Okay, this verification is done. Now we will block the role from using the role. Okay, for the north-south traffic. That was for the east-west traffic, that rule between the VM. Now we'll go for the north-south traffic. It means outside to inside, we'll log that traffic. Okay, let's do it. We'll go under security and the north-south security, where it is. This was the east-west traffic. Now we'll go for the north-south traffic. Okay, we'll go under the gateway firewall. Okay, and we'll sorry, we'll do the specific role configuration for the gateway 0. Okay, on the gateway 0. As of now, allow is all here, any to any allow list. So now what we can do that, add the rule in the same or add the policy, new policy. What is policy without rule is not. Okay. So what we can do, we can add the rule here. I can give here SSH traffic. Okay, and now I can add the rule here. Add the rule. And we'll name it block SSH. Sorry. Block SSH. Really? SSH. And we'll keep from any to tier 3. It means for these three VMs which I created should be blocked, right? Tier 3 VM, which I created for the earlier. Okay, service will be the SSH. Service should be SSH here. Okay, so I will type here name. There should be SSH. SSH. Perfect. For the destination, port 22. Now I will leave it. Now we'll apply on that. We will apply here for the gateway uplink 1, uplink 2. Okay, because from those uplinks we are getting the traffic, right? And that traffic will be reject. Okay, we will not drop the traffic, but just reject the traffic. Okay. Okay, if I do that, now from here, if I go and open the tier 1 web, it should not open, right? Yep, it is not opening. If I go and allow the traffic, publish, if I go here again, sorry, just time out. Or I can test from here. Why should I go there? Okay, I can do it from here. SSH from VM, or putty So what happened now? It should be, come on. Ah, what happened to this? Okay, let me log into RDP. If I go here, VMware NSX T30. Okay, we'll check that. Type the password. Okay, so I have denied the ICMP from here instead of SSH, just to test the same from external network. Yep, ICMP is denying. If I go there and remove this, just disable it and publish it. So ICMP should be allowed, right? I did rule disable. Look here. So now it's working as expected. Instead of SSH, I did ICMP traffic. Okay. So I disable the all rules before moving forward any further here. Then 12 is intrusion detection here, IDS, which is very much uh, good for the version 3, which they VMware came up with in the version 3.0 NSX-T. Before 3.0, it was not there. So okay, I'm going to end here this module here. From next module, we'll start from the lab 12, configuring the distributed intrusion detection, or you can say IPS, IDS. And then after this, we'll do that module 13, which will be the web traffic analysis, URL filtering, which is very much new for the version NXT 3.0. Okay. Okay. See you next module.